Fuck with this miss, I will damage on the premises. Niggas step back with dash grease, wash their ass.
What motivates me is just making music and staying on the road. You know, really the show is only 45 minutes. I think just seeing the world and like going to the mall and, you know, going out to, you know, different restaurants, you know, it's still like a vacation slash work kind of job. Like, it's just more of seeing the highway, because, you know, you're seeing more than just the show. You're seeing the truck stops, you're seeing, you know, the highways, the mountains, the rocks, the different highways and roads and routes, and like you said, malls and line clothes, and every night just putting on putting on outfits and gear and just doing the show. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, my father was a dancer with Marc's pops. Like, they came to New York together. So when I knew Marc when he was younger as a kid, we used to go to his house parties and birthday parties and stuff. And then my mom and his mother know each other, and my father and his father used to hang out and dance together when they first came to New York. And it was just, and they had another guy with them, Grover. They grew up, and then Marc was like, we would always go over to Marc's house and stuff, and then Marc ended up growing up, and then I moved to LA, and then Marc came to LA, and Marc got into music, and his brother, I knew his brother John and stuff, so we was like always kind of like a family. And that's why I met Marc.
Like family first, and then I found out that he was like, I wanted to rap. And my brother was like, you know, Keith got the hottest record in the country, like in the city right now. Ultramagnetic is the dopest shit up. I'm like, Keith rapping like that? And then, you know, then I started fanning out and, you know, Keith, can I come to the studio?
Oh, your brother knew first?
He knew first.
Oh,
he said, he's like, I said, man, I want to rap. He said, why don't you just call Keith? He got the hottest record in the fucking city, Ultramagnetic. That's my favorite group. I'm like, Keith rapping? Yeah, that's just, you know what I'm saying? It was like, cause Keith was always just like, he didn't put the rap in the front, in the family side. It was like, you know, we knew, but it wasn't like he wore it like that. But then it was like, they blew up. And then it was like, oh shit, I gotta get into this rap shit, you know, following him.
Yeah, I moved to LA.
And he moved to LA, and then that was when, you know, everything started. Yeah, like I do, I also write TV. I wrote a reality show for Ice-T and Coco, Ice Loves Coco, for E! You know, I do stuff like that. I produce, I have an independent label called Legends that we own the trademark for the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So we did the apparel stuff and a lot of different stuff, collabs with companies for the anniversary. And yeah, just kind of doing everything in music you can just to kind of stay afloat, you know, because like the Spotify's and all that kind of took us out. The record companies getting budgets and, you know, 30s here and 40s here. Now it's kind of like you got to do all this shit. I got my deal with Sony Orchard in 2018. For Legends recordings, and I was talking to Keith. We did this compilation called The Foundation, and I only got $25,000 for the budget. So I took $5,000, and my homeboy, my partner said, Marc, you know the 50th anniversary of hip hop Trademark is open. Like we can get it. And I said, how much you think it'll cost us? He said, about $3,500 to secure the trademark. I said, we'll get it now. Maybe in 5 years it'll be something. I didn't think about it. Maybe, you know, we'll turn it into something, can monetize it. And then, you know, 5 years later is, you know, we were getting calls because people look up the trademark, who owns it. Right. And they started saying, hey, you know, we'd like to represent you guys. And we got an agent. And
wow.
So now they just kind of, you know, doing licensing. Like it's more, when you have a trademark, it's more licensing. Like, somebody wants the image and they put it on their stuff and they give you a little royalty from it. So
I think it's ahead of its time. I think we evolved a lot, you know, like our music is probably just getting caught up with, you know, time right now. People are just starting to catch up to the music and the stuff that we was doing now as according to back then. Like people, it's getting to almost link up with what's coming out now. The stuff that people were doing is like what we did a long time ago, starting to catch up. But it's still ahead of time because I listen to a lot of my records and albums. It's a lot of stuff that's still ahead of its time. So, you know, there's many records that you would think I made them today, and they just on those albums. And, you know, I think a lot of the world still has a lot of catching up to do, you know, musically with the stuff I made, you know. So it's a continuous evolution that is in this kind of music, timeless sounding. Well, a lot of rappers, you know, they listen to records. You know, I never grew up on rappers and stuff, other rappers. Like when I was young, you know, I think when I got in high school, junior high school, I bought a lot of funk records. Like I bought Cameo and Slave and Heat Wave, and I bought a lot of Brass Destruction. I bought, you know, like Undisputed Truth. I bought a lot of funk band records, and you know, I didn't listen to none of the rap stuff, so I was always going to J&R Music World buying a lot of, you know, Ohio Players and Slave and all that stuff, Confunction, Cameo. I was like buying funk records.
Okay,
I didn't collect like R&B or nothing like that. I never collected R&B. I didn't go by Phyllis Hyman. I didn't go by, you know, a lot of stuff like Peebo Bryson. I just collected like a bunch of funk bands.
Okay. Now those funk bands.
The elements of the music had motivated me to make different sounds and stuff. Because I didn't follow a lot of the rap stuff. Like I was into rap, but I collected. Because I was dancing anyway, so I was a dancer back in junior high. I was dancing in high school, so I bought those records to practice dancing to.
mm.
I mean, I put a lot of stuff into the music culture. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people tried to cover Ultra's, you know, appearance and what we really did. A lot of people try to cover that, you know, just like you got a lot of groups and people that look over what we've done sometimes and they forget, but it's kind of, we have so much material that it's kind of hard to cover because we did a lot of stuff and, you know, paved a lot of ways in the music business for a lot of groups anyway. It's just that the machine was behind a lot of groups when they wasn't behind us. So a lot of people has forced advertisement of their careers and sounds and stuff like that because they had the machine behind them. So we didn't have the machine behind us at a real early like a lot of groups. So we got lost a little bit, but that's kind of dishonest, you know, history. So it's like, I think hip hop got one part in it that's kind of messed up. Hip hop has dishonesty sometimes in it, whereas the proper, you know, the proper way of putting stuff to people and educating people on what musically people should be knowing. So they kind of hide a lot of stuff like that. You know, the truth of, you know, even like you said with the awards, the trophies, and whoever gets to be honored. But sometimes some people are just jealous, and it's just plain jealous. Like they just can't understand. Some groups were different. Some groups, they could never duplicate certain group sounds. They could never dress like a certain group. Like, you know, Marc probably understands that too. It's just sometimes it's just jealousy. You know, some groups maybe dress better than others, and some groups was not on the rise to be different and distinctive. You know, some people will promote something else more than what the real original energy was. You know, and that's what we have too. You got a lot of jealousy. You know, people were bitter back in the days too. So a lot of people were mad. You know, that you might have created something that they didn't come up with. So they'll steal it. You know, you got people in different positions in the music business that they can shuffle the honesty around. You know, they'll be like, oh, that person started this person started that, and that person ain't start nothing at all. You know, they'll manipulate the system. Like you said, people, I think hip hop is very good, culturally good, but then it's still dishonest representation.
You know, the challenges is just kind of managing stuff and trying to make everything work and make sense. Like, I think I figured out, like, I haven't not had a deal of some sort since '97. Like, as far as like having the ability to like put out music on some sort of label apparatus. So I always was freaked out by not having an ability to put out records, even if I didn't put them out. So I always sought out deals and stuff, and you know, was head on it. So when I got my distribution deal, I've had a distribution deal with Sony Red for 10 years. It's kind of like you get in with them and then you don't get dropped because they don't put any money into the labels anymore. So it's like you have you're in the system, they know you, they like you, they're cool with you, but I haven't made any money with them because they've never put any money into my labels. So you have these things, but you're like, for me to really do what I would love to do, I need money, like old school money, like 6-album production deal from Epic, and then now you can put groups out and do this shit. So
it's distribution.
Yeah, it's kind of like I have a lot of titles, but when you get older, you realize a lot of this stuff doesn't really pay anymore. So you have to kind of draw that line, like how much passion do I have on, you know, with it, and how afraid am I of having to work a 9 to 5 again. So you have to kind of balance what is going to keep you where you can wake up at the time you want to wake up, and then what's going to be a fantasy, what's something that's kind of a pet project. So the label is like, what I want to do with the label this year is, I was talking to Keith, we have a lot of people we work with, a lot of groups, a lot of Analog Brother guys and Space Force guys and Undertaker guys that we've been working with that are in our crew. I said, let's put all this shit out through the label. You know, let's just put it in the Sony system and let everybody start to have a voice and start to have a profile, a Spotify profile. They're starting to get numbers, so when we tour, right, it makes sense. It's like we're all out here and we're all got records out and we're doing shit. So that's what I'm trying. You know, I think the challenge is like figuring out, you can have a lot of hats, but figuring out what makes sense, what's gonna pay, and then, you know, kind of focusing on that.
I think they are pretty much they're just different environments. It's just not the lit city. I think all the cities is pretty much, they adapt to what we're doing. Like, you know, you got different kinds of places to perform. You might perform in the mountains. See, like me, I have a different, like we have a different routing, you know, like my fan bases, they could be in the mountains, you know, they could be in the woods, like Marc knows. They could be in the city. So it's different types of places. Like you could go do a show in the woods and it's packed with people that live strictly in the mountains.
Right.
And they love you up there. And you do a show in the city, and you come to San Francisco, do a show right in the city. You go to LA, then you can get some other routes, you know. I think with me, I don't have the average routing as the average rapper. I have like a very intricate music routing. Like I go to cities and places that see some people might go to the main cities and they perform in the main cities, but sometimes I might go 3 hours out of that city, but it'll be like a city that no rapper has never been to, and it's a crowd out there. You know, you might go through mountains and rocks, and they'd be like, "Damn, no rapper never came out here." Like you are only guy, you the only guy with a market out here. So you know, I'm kind of tricky. Like I got inner city, I still got inner city people and outer city people, and those fans, they all got different vibes. You know, it's like you meeting everybody. See, like you said, my audience is different because, like you said, sometimes I can do a corporation party. It might be a bunch of dentists. They have a dentist party for Kool Keith, all dentists. You know, just like the whole crowd is all dentists. And then it might be somebody with a yacht. They have a yacht party. Like, you know, so it's like you might get a lot of people just, they own boats. They want to have a party. So it's not like every night it can't be a predicted crowd of, like it's not the average rap audience. It's still an audience of rap, but it's different kinds of people, interesting people. It could be a crowd of farmers. You might do a show with all farmers. Like the farmers all got together and said, let's pay Keith to come out here. They all raise cows.
Right.
The whole crowd is farmers, cow owners and horses and corn and shit. They like, yo, you know, this is the harvest crowd. And it's crazy. It's fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like it's wild, you know. It's not like people got worried about how they gonna get home. You know, it's kind of it's a smooth evening.
So what?
Like I had a crowd. Honestly, I did a show one time and it was in Paris one time, and it was a show that it was all and I always had a second thought on lesbian women. And I did a show one time for these lesbian women. It was all lesbian women. They booked the show for me. And these lesbian women treated me so nice. They had dope catering and champagne, brought me there in a limo, flew me. I forgot where it was, in Spain. It was somewhere. And it was just a lesbian audience.
Wow.
Just all lesbians.
Crazy.
And I tripped out for a minute. I said, oh, it's all ladies here. Like they had their hats backwards, you know, they were more like different, you know, male butchers, you know, LBGT type people, but it was good. I couldn't say nothing. They paid me like a regular, you know, money is money.
Money's money.
So it was just a great crowd. Like they were nice, and I never forget that. They were so hospitable. They made sure I had everything I needed, and I was like, wow, they need to book another show for me. They paid me, treated me like a king. And it wasn't like, and it was no sexual thing or nothing. They was like regular people, like, hey, you know, like a regular show. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's different people. Like a lot of rappers, they don't have that kind of gift. You know, they don't have that gift. So that's a good gift for me, I'm saying. You know, so, you know, and we got Halo, you know, and Homeless on the tour, so it's a good thing. You know, so we carry people with us and stuff, and it's just night after night, it's just fun, you know. Marc, you could tell him, well, you know, basically, you know, I brought Black Elvis 2 out because one was really good, you know, and we did it. The first album was more synthesized, and this album, I think Marc,
Samples.
More sample.
Yeah, like we the first one we did in 1999, right, when we was all at Columbia, and that's when Keith created that sound of like playing the bass lines and the sounds, and then me sampling them into the MP and then programming from his sounds, and that's how we kind of created that Black Elvis sound. And then 20 years later, You know, Eric say, "Hey Marc, man, what y'all think about doing Black Elvis?" I said, "Damn, Eric, god damn it, 20 years, let's do it." He said, "Yeah, we're doing it and we'll go tour. It would tour." And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I called Keith. Keith said, "Yeah, you know, let's do Sam," because he's the master. He always has the plan. So he's like, "Marc, we'll do that. We'll do the keyboards, but let's do samples and let's do a little hip hop, some head bop and tempo." So we went in there and we cooked. And Jay Stylez, that's our new ace in the hole, our new, you know, guru in our camp that, you know, does mixed and mastered and helped produce Black Elvis too. So we got like a nice production team now, and you know, we just been cooking up new stuff, and you know, we still dope. It's like when you get in the studio and you still dope, you're like, damn, I'm still better than 90% of motherfuckers doing what I'm doing. So why not stop? Why stop? And then this guy, you know, makes you better. You hear him so prolific as an MC and as an artist and creating, and it's always been a pleasure working with Keith, you know, since we started working in, you know, early 90s, just like the creative process with Ultramagnetic and Trev and all those guys. So, you know, it's been, for me, just a pleasure just actually seeing everything from the beginning, kind of, and then how we've been able to keep it going.
Yeah, we got other we worked on the Ultra record again, another Ultra project with vinyl and stuff with Sad. You know, we starting to make new records again.
Yeah.
Mo is still making music, but we not together. Like Travis separated. You know, Sad is still down with me. We supposed to go to tour in Europe and stuff. So we're just taking each day at a time, though. You know.
Yeah.
Taking each day at a time. Well, I always was ahead of my time. You know, even, you know, by being open-minded, you know, I rap with my nephews and younger kids and stuff like that, and I have them ripping up their papers, and they be like, damn, because rap is still a sport. It's still like practice, you know. You have to cadence, practice yourself, your vocals and stuff like that. It's still practice. Like, so they start seeing, you know, it's still development at the end of the day. Like, you know, a young kid still got to develop. Like, just because you're young don't mean you're good. It's just that you got to be like a person. You know, like, still rap is still the same way. It's like the major leagues. It's still, a rookie has to come in. You know, you're not going to be Barry Bonds. You're not going to hit 25, you know, 67 home runs, 80, you know, 70 home runs, like Jose Canseco. So still, those guys, to me, is like they still coming up in the farm system. So it's like you might just be good for that time, you know, when you come out of AAA. But that's how rap is to me. Like, some of the guys are AAA, but they're not in the major leagues. In their mind, they're in the major leagues till they get to the big leagues, and then they find out that those home runs don't really go out the park like they used to go in the little, you know, minor league parts, you know. So then they find that batting average going down, like, and that's how a lot of those new rappers are. They just, in their head, they think they're really in the major leagues. It's still the same comparison.
Yeah. New Orleans tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Halloween, New Orleans. I haven't been in New Orleans with Keith in years. That was always a great spot.
I like New Orleans. We go to New Orleans a lot
It's
sometimes.
dope.
I mean, that was a good city for us. I always have fun in the NO, and then, you know, I have friends down there, Moby Dick and Beats by the Pound, and, you know, you know, all the whole KLC, all of them, and, you know, just all of them was cool. Fiend and everybody, you know. You know, I was always a fan of New Orleans, you know, skullduggery and all the stuff, and, you know, magic and all the, you know, all the stuff they had all down there.
We working on this
Endless music. Yeah,
music.
endless projects going all kinds of ways.
But we doing this Liberty Legion album, Space Force. It's like it's everybody. It's Jay Stylez. It's Black Silver. It's a lot of the guys that we've been working with, and we putting them on. Keith is making beats. I'm making beats, and he's sending them out at 12 midnight, and they doing the records at 3 in the morning and sending them back. So we building this album now. So we hoping by 2024 we'll have a new Space Force album. Like
I think the music process now is pretty different also too. Like I think back in the days, a lot of artists used to make records and save them and hold them, and everybody used to have this big thing like they never gonna put the record out. They wait and mop it and shine it, you know, do so much with the track. I think we live now where it's kind of random. Time moved on where artists could make records and just put them out. You know, like we moving at a fast pace now. Like that's one thing about the kids; they do put their records out. I think a lot of people in the 80s, they have people from the time of Quincy Jones and people making records and stuff from those times of the 80s, and they can't, like a lot of 80s artists, like, you know, our classmates of the 80s and the golden age and 70s, I think they don't never put a record out. They'll make them in their house and hold them and listen to them, and they figure they're never ready. Like they're never, in their mind, when you get older, records are never ready. Like they have a thing where they feel a record is never ready, and the record actually becomes never ready. You know, they keep saying, you know, it needs something else, and you know, I'm waiting for Gloria Gaynor to sing on the chorus, and I gotta get Mary on it, I gotta get Bobby on it, and it ain't finished yet, so Tony Bennett gets on it, you know. So they get in a delusional state of mind, and they start thinking, you know, I gotta wait till, you know, this certain piano player come in from Spain and put this on it, and till the record never comes out ever. You know, the record never comes out. In their mind, they delusionalize themselves to never put the record out. It just be playing in their house, and when people come over, they play it. If other artists come by, they yo, you know, look, I'm working on this, and the record never comes out. So that's what a lot of artists we have now, that you won't hear a lot of your favorite artists and stars, because they have that disease, like the track will never be ready. And time goes by, you know, it's like, I think music is music. Like, you just put it out, you just make music. Like, people have gotten so critical with music. Like, if you could just make up a name. If Johnny Bastel is not on it, and the Prince of Dubai didn't come play the horn on it, it's not ready yet. You know, everybody has this new thing, like the track is not ready. And then, like, you know, it's funny too, like a lot of artists too that are even legends and golden age stars and stuff like that, and a lot of people, they all are stuck in this thing like Michael Jackson. Like, everybody want to be Michael Jackson. Everybody's like, I don't know when I'm gonna make another record, but it's like once when I feel like I can make another record. And it's not the point of that. It's just like rap stars and people that's in the rap. Like, rap is just rap. You rap on beats, 808s. You put them out. Like, a lot of people just hold it and be like, yeah, you know, if Marvin Gaye could come back in the studio, I can put that track on again. Like, a lot of people's stuck on different pigeonholes, you know. They like, if they looking for somebody, like, you know, they got tracks lined up in their house and all on their computers in their studios. And some people got big studios too. Some people got big SSL boards and knees, and they sitting down, but they like, you know, I don't think it's time for me to make a record yet. I think maybe in the next 30 years, I'm gonna put out another song, and and people waiting for me to put it out. You know, like people actually sitting up like they Joan Jett and all that shit. You be like, man, put the fucking record out, man. Like, you know, everybody's sitting back. It's like they just, it's this new thing in rap now. Like, what you think, Marc? Everybody got this new thing sitting back. Like, I got this big museum album I'm saving in the museum. And
The vault,
like,
right.
It's like natural history, and I can't release this stuff, and the world's gonna wait for it. I'm gonna just, you know, wait, you know, maybe I'm gonna wait another 50 years and put it out. And I got some features that I can't reveal yet. And it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bullshit, man. It's just
Put it
so much
out.
bullshit. Put your shit out, man. Put the
Let
shit
the
out.
fuck-
Let people hear it and say it's dope, it's hype, or you was whack on that shit. Put it out.
Put
like,
it out.
You like holding it. And then what happens is they hold this shit so much, and everybody's trying to get these best albums. And people always used to say, you know, quantity or quality. I don't give a fuck if it's quantity or quality. It's just rap.
Yeah.
Like, put it out. Like, you just make records, like all kinds of records. Make a beatbox, 808 ones. Put the dope ones with the singers on it. And if you hire the dope singer on that, and put it out. But I'm just saying, I think a lot of people hold records like they big giant artists. Like, you know, it's like rock groups be like, yeah, you know, we just come out, we put a record out like every 20 years, you know. Like, y'all not rock bands.
Yeah, right. You're not shot.
Y'all not fucking, huh?
Right.
You're not rock bands.
You can find me at on Instagram, Marc Live, Giveand, Giveand. Twitter, www.50thanniversaryahiphop.com. You can find us on there. We got shit up there. And yeah, Keith, I think Ultraman, right?
Yeah, Ultraman 7000, Twitter, Kool Keith Original Official, Instagram. Pretty soon my website, koolkeith.com, Marc Live.
Yeah. Black Elvis 2 tour, rolling all the way through to December. We doing a lot of shit, new shit. Captain Keith, thank you guys. Peace. Austin, Texas. We out.